Future gods and goddesses, welcome back to the channel. It's Uncle Makara with another video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to support the algorithm. Share this video with a friend if at all it helps you out, okay? I got a question today from someone in the Telegram group, Navneil. Thank you for asking, bro. Great question, because I think we've all gone through that frequency dip, as you'd like to call it. What happens is sometimes we'll get into a higher vibration in your reality, everything's clicking, everything's kind of building up towards that point, and then something happens that throws us off that frequency or that wavelength, right? Be very disruptive in nature. It could be something maybe low vibrational that comes in, maybe some surprising situation, some shock, some trauma, or it could be that the old narrative comes in and infiltrates the new narrative, okay? There could be many different things that are happening for you right now, I understand, especially if you're being smart about it and focusing on 3 areas of health, wealth, relationships, okay? So the transitional phase, any kind of transitional or liminal phase work, right? Let's say that you're going from home to work. Clearly, there is a process of stabilization as you enter your home, unless there's not. There might be arguing or yelling or different things around you. However, if you can get home and you can give yourself cues, you see certain things in your home that remind you of the past, that remind you of you, right? And so one of the ways would be switching your environment around, but also paying attention to those cues. Let's say your dog runs up and, starts barking by your leg. That's one of the cues. So that's one of the cues that maybe raises your oxytocin a little bit. You play with the dog, and then all of a sudden, you see a mirror and you see yourself in the mirror, and that is another reflection, right? Reflection. Then you see your chest of drawers, and then you see something very symbolic on top of it. I am home. I am centered, right? And maybe you see someone close to you or meaningful to you, and you get another feeling, other cues are coming up, okay? So a lot of this stuff is about reattribution, what these things mean to you, because the thing actually throwing you off might just be a past thing, okay? The way to get out of the past or out of the future, out of depression, out of anxiety, is to be in the present moment, okay? So the new reality, once you get to a baseline of nowness, of presence rather than performance, okay? I've been focusing a lot on performance. Now I'm focusing on presence, because with great presence comes great performance, okay? It's not great performance that brings great presence. It can, but it feels like it's a setup almost. Taking it easier on yourself in those moments when your vibration gets shut down, in a sense. So let's say your vibration was here, now it gets knocked down to here. What are some action steps that you can take that will at least get you towards feeling good again? Okay, there are certain activities that you could do and set up that would make you feel that good and get you to build that momentum again, okay? Now living with conscious intention, the mages, they think it's almost constructive living, right? Even the destructive becomes constructive. It's a very unique way of thinking. Of course, it's a more complex way of thinking, and if you want to simplify things, that might not be ideal. But something as simple as coming back to your breath can help you align with the new timeline, the new reality, the new vibration. Because peace is a very high frequency, very high vibration, okay? When we have too much clutter, it actually lowers our vibration because there's too much to process, okay? And we feel scattered. So I would highly, highly recommend you use something called information detoxing and information preference. So you take the pieces of information that truly resonate with you, that are effective to you, and you discard the rest, right? What Bruce Lee said. Apply what works, discard the rest, and add what is uniquely your own. Let's say that you're going like this, and something throws you off course, okay? Someone in the family got sick, some random news you hear of somebody, some random person's projected emotions onto you, whatever it is, right? Don't personalize it. Observe the situation that dipped your vibration from a distance And then using your self-talk, you get yourself back. What did Muhammad Ali say before fights, man? I'm the greatest. You get what I mean? Like, that is such a vibration shifting thing to say, bro. And again, he really believed it too. He had that conviction in his voice too, right? So it's like the vibration that you're generating, make sure that you are being the cause of that vibration, because there will be things that will randomly skew you, you know, in random directions. But if you can conjure a vibe with your clothing choices, maybe, yeah, I wore this today, it conjured a certain frequency and vibe for me. You see what I'm saying? It summoned a specific vibration for me. So you start doing the things that gain that momentum again. And things will try to throw you off course. I like to remain my level at slightly above neutrality. And I've said this many times in this video. I think that's a great place to be. It's a very powerful place to be and reside. But it's basically the easy tweak would be just to come back to the now, right? That really does it in terms of raising your frequency up, because you're more conscious. Now, just because you're higher up in the consciousness level does not mean things get better. Sometimes it could just be different. It's according to what you truly prefer and want for yourself. Let's say that you have a new job, you have to change cities, and now you're in this awkward transitional phase again. Now, there might be certain concepts or words for you that have always remained the same. This is why it's so important that we talk about a theme of our life, right? Because we can get very scattered outside of that theme. Let's say that your experience of life is boundlessness and you're trapped in a failing relationship. Your idea and theme of life is not aligning to what you truly want. You see, so sometimes it comes down to alignment. The universe is protecting you in that moment. It might dip your energy, you feel bad for a second. I don't run from those, I actually accept and embrace those. So those are like, okay, that's coming, let me take it on, okay? Because from this new reality, I'm seeing things differently, right? And when you get knocked down in reality, you'll start seeing things in a less accurate way. When you're in a low vibration, we get knocked down. Your thinking is not on your side, let's just say. So sometimes you need your tribe or other people to give you that push and remind you that, yo, let's go, right? And you get into the right vibration around the right kind of people. This is why when you raise your vibration, your old friends just fade away into the background, right? Because it's like that period of time can be pretty isolating for many people. However, you want to try to challenge yourself, man. Like, I give myself gratitude games. Like, I'm like, okay, on my phone, a random reminder. Like, what am I grateful for in this present moment? Not in the past, not what I did today, not in right now. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the sunlight hitting my skin. I'm grateful that I'm in the safety of my own room right now, right? I could be outside burning in the heat, but I'm, you know, in a room that's quite cool and nice and refreshing. Why not make the gratitude related to the new character that you've been stepping into, okay? If gratitude helps as a thing itself, why not apply the tech of gratitude towards the new version of you? Let's say you want to be more suave in your character. You want to be more mafia-like or whatever, right? In one moment, you find yourself kind of off of that code, in a sense. You're just kind of switched over to maybe a little bit of a Joker land, right? And then you wanted to hop back into the Mafia world. What you would really need to do is be grateful for that Mafia world. You need to make it more important to you, if that makes sense, okay? You have to make that character switch that you made, the reason why you switched, the problem solver, as I like to call it. The character switch is the problem solver. And once you become the character, you've solved the problem that you initially had. And so this is really about troubleshooting, right? Closing your energy centers down. Like sometimes, listen, man, there's 5 bodies, right? So there's physical body, mental body, emotional body, energetic body, spiritual body. It might be that on a physical level you feel fine, on an energetic level you feel fine, on an emotional level something is messed up. Or it could be on one of the other bodies that something is messed up, like a spiritual block or something like that, right? So sometimes we cannot see what is the actual block. You asked about energy work, so I'm answering from that perspective. Because if there is an energy block, that means the energy has not been transformed correctly. You see what I mean? Like, it hasn't been used in the way that it would most optimally help you in your reality. It's kind of skewed itself into something else. Using your laughter or humor is great, as Ryan G mentioned. Understanding that these different emotions that come in outside of a high vibration, they add to a little bit of the flavor, right? They add to the painting, the little edges and crevices of the painting. It's just little additions that make the painting more glorious. So I don't see those as things that stop me. I see those as a part of it. Okay? I see the resistance as a part of something else happening. So there's a certain kind of dynamism that you got to create with this, okay? And don't pedestalize that reality either, because as we learned from Shivaji, okay, this is Shiva Tech, he basically told us in our channeling session that once you put something on a pedestal, you are separating yourself from it. So if you're like, oh my God, that job is so good, I need to have it. You put it up and you're down here, it's hard to reach. Okay? You've created more resistance for yourself by pedestalizing it. What if you saw it as a one of the same? Because when you start to succeed, it is when your results will match the most natural you. You get what I mean? Like, the most authentic and natural you is going to match the results that you want. So the desires that you want in your life has got to feel easy, effortless, and natural towards the person you're being. And that's why working on your strengths and knowing what you're really good at can be such a superpower, because you're merging with those strengths. You're not separate. You're not putting your strengths up on a pedestal. You see? You're not like, oh yeah, I'm strong, but it's kind of up there though. Like, my strength can be super powerful, but I'm also down here. Now you're in the mind. You see? Now you're in the mind trying to categorize and put this hierarchy in place and trying to, fix things and rearrange everything. It's not going to work like that. Through your self-talk, you reaffirm to yourself, I am that dude, okay? And you speak into your reality what you want to happen. Not around others, just by yourself, like self-talk. It sounds crazy, you're talking to yourself, but really this is so powerful and it works, right? Looking at yourself in the mirror even, like, yo, this is you. You got this, right? Reminding yourself of the new reality. Because sometimes we get complacent or autopilot in the new reality, right? And then we just forget. And we forget that we even made a shift at times. I've made so many shifts that I forget, bro. It's tough, but then what Eckhart Tolle says, you don't have to go to the past and start, looking up and hurling this stuff up from the past. What you can do is recognize when it comes up in the present. When the past comes up in the present, then you deal with it. You see what I'm saying? So it's very, very key that you practice living in the now, okay? Presence over performance. Start maintaining that level of high vibration by really doing the things that you love doing. And how do I know what I love doing? Okay, you try things out. Well, how do I try things out? I don't know. You start doing it, how do I start doing it? Well, you get the energy. Well, how do I get the energy? Well, you start eating better and you start going to the gym. And, how do I start going to the gym? How do I start eating better? Well, first of all, and so it's not like a quick fix, right? It's not going to be like a quick snap back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity, right? It's not that. But what I like to do is I like to have certain symbols that I come back to. Okay, and I try to find the thread between that symbol. Let's just say water. Water is the theme of my life, and I connect with water deities, water themed things, flow state, which is flow is a part of water, and the metaphor just starts to build into these entire worlds, right? When you take the themes of your life, you've got to understand that they are valuable. You have to practice being that character until the reality shifts around you, right? But just when the reality shifts around you, you kind of stop being that character. You see what I'm saying? So that can happen as well, right? It's like, oh, it's become normalized now, so I can just forget. And different things will show up and happen, but this is why you got to weave and adapt, right? The ones that could adapt to their environment survived in terms of evolution and Darwin, right? So it's like you have to really be able to adapt to the situations that are coming your way, be improvisational in nature. And I'm sure you are, which is why, you've been looking into this stuff and you're really generating that, and putting it out there. Now it's time to be seen. Now it's time to be, it's okay that others are putting me under a microscope. Please do so. Others are trying to analyze and co-create and, add things and, distort things of mine. Go ahead. But why? Because I'm comfortable with the character. If I feel uncomfortable playing the character, there's still some kind of limiting belief work to be done or something to be rearranged. You get what I mean? So make the character feel natural to you. Okay? If I were to pretend to be Severus Snape from tomorrow, maybe just gotta dye this hair or whatever. If I decided to be Severus Snape tomorrow, right? I have the wand, by the way. So I don't need to start doing everything like Snape with an exaggerated. I slowly wean into it. A lot of people will shift instantly like that, like a timeline switch or a full moon or a vibrational pocket jump or some event that they go to that's high vibrational. But then they come out of it and then they're back, right? So it's like, is that character only dependent on others around them in order to decide? I think this is a very, very powerful take and key, and I learned this from the new camp, Secrets of Solomon, from AZD, IMC. You're being what others have told you to be. Right? Get that. That's a really powerful data, man. Whew. You're being who others told you to be. Not who you want to be or who you really are, your true self. So every time your character switches, it's going to compare itself to the true self and almost bring it down in its intensity level or something like this, because the beliefs haven't really matched up to the actions or the thoughts or whatever. So you might have little micro thoughts and then you have a macro character or reality. So let's say you're trying to be like Bruce Wayne at work, but you're still working at like a place where it's like, so much chaos, and it's like, dude, Bruce Wayne wouldn't deal with that. He would just walk out of there and, he'd do something else. So that goes to show you that Bruce Wayne might not be the right switch for you in that moment. Maybe you want to just apply one little characteristic of Bruce that gets the ball rolling. Okay? Maybe you just emulate one quality of Bruce or one belief of Bruce, right? Or one driver of Bruce. And then you start stacking in and working with that quality, right? And then you build a character slowly, and you're really creating a character now. You're working like a dramaturg or a theater director, right? A character with complexity and structure, and it's beautiful, right? To watch somebody like that and you go, damn, like that person is different. He's changed, right? And all you can tell is that I've changed, my energy's changed, I look different, I feel different, I sound different, so clearly something is different. Now, obviously, I'm still probably the same consciousness, the same soul, and as we grow older, we change as well, and yeah, I can backwards rationalize all of my progress like that. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, oh yeah, but don't mind that was in third grade, and I can't do that, and so this self-defeating voice comes in at times, and starts to sugarcoat things, right? It starts to take things out of context. It's the superego. It's the one that wants to protect you from all these other things in society. And that thing is such an annoyance, because that comes in and it's like, are you sure your parents will like that or whatever? And I'm like, bro, I don't care, right? Like on the conscious level, I don't. In the background, we have this cultural narrative and like, parents are God, and there's this piety associated with it. And it's like that feeling of like, I'm letting them down. So let's say you're going throughout your day and you learned something in the news that you don't want to hear. Well, you just kind of focus on the main datum point of it, and then you move on with your day, right? You don't latch on to that, and then you let that thing take you down this deep rabbit hole where you start dwelling and becoming sad and, you know, going inwards, and then having that. So what that has done is that piece of information is now attached to you. You see, you have spiritually attached to that information, and you're making it about your storyline now. That piece of news that you read, you're making it about you. You're personalizing it, right? And so, of course, it's going to shift the identity. That's that identity level work, right? This is what I've kind of mastered throughout my time, is understanding that I am me, only me, and nobody else. And so if I'm multidimensional, if I'm unique, if I'm this character structure, I understand I'm going to do what fully heals me, makes me feel present and good. I mean, one of the quickest ways you can use is just sounds, right? Frequencies. Just listen to a higher frequency when you're feeling a bit low and you get knocked off, right? I do that all the time. You know, I play it on YouTube. I play probability and luck enhancers to make my luck more natural to me. So again, how does it work? Everything is mind. All is mind. So if I believe I am lucky, I will show luck in my physical waking life. And one of my beliefs is everything always goes my way. Even though it might not seem like that in the moment, everything always goes my way eventually, right? And so that gives me a feeling of longevity, maintenance, hope, as I've just adjusted one belief about myself. You see? So it's not like I have to match this archetype 24/7. I allow myself to shift, right? I go into the angelic realm, the demonic realm. I will allow my imagination to explore, but I will not allow some idea or concept to come in and infiltrate mine. Let's say I start talking and someone brings up the pandemic. Like, that's going to ruin the conversation. You know, that's going to twist it, because everyone has a very deep, like, feeling about that. Right? A personalization, a heightened emotional state based on that topic. Or let's say someone brings up, you know, what's happening in the Ukraine or what's happening in Israel and things like this. So if people bring up those topics, remember that is a thought form. It's a thought form. Yes, it's a reality. I'm not denying that it's a reality and it's something happening around the world and it's horrible. But it also holds a lot of emotional baggage. Lots of people's perception and eyes on that thing. So there's going to be animosity, hostility, control in that, right? Different ideas trying to manage themselves with each other. Okay, more polarization, two opposites looking back at each other. So this is what tends to happen, man. We're working with our shadow, something that is going against us, and there's something that is our higher selves going for us, and then there's the inner child, and then there's a parent within, and all of it together is just for you, and all of it together is just for you to thrive, right? From merely getting by and living a mundane life to making it more exciting for you, more energized for you, more novel. You know, seeing things in various ways, bringing them together instead of tearing them apart and saying that that's over there now. My goal is over there now, not here, right? So, man, this is a great topic because it got me rambling, and probably the video is longer than I expected it to be. However, I hope this video helped you, man. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Upward spiral. May we never be the same again.